All right, you guys, this your boy back at y'all with another one. Let's get down to business. So we're talking about the Brooklyn Nets, and they're having a brutal stretch of games coming up. Yesterday, they was able to defeat the San Antonio Spurs at home on a last-second shot, in which it broke a 5-game losing streak at home for the Brooklyn Nets. Now, they take this show on the road tonight. And by the way, that game yesterday did go to overtime. So this game they have tonight is a makeup game because of the outbreak. The original game they had against the Portland Trailblazers was supposed to be on December 23rd, but that game was postponed due to the outbreak within the Brooklyn Nets. And in that, the game that was scheduled for December 23rd is rescheduled for tonight. Now, in this stretch of games that they'll be going through, as you can see the schedule, we got a report that James Harden will not play tonight. Also, LaMarcus Aldridge will not play tonight. But they will get Kyrie Irving back. And Kyrie Irving is in a juicy matchup against Anthony Simons and Dennis Smith Jr. With the Portland Trailblazers missing both Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum and Norman Powell, their depth is really tested. So it's a very juicy matchup for the Brooklyn Nets, and also the Portland Trailblazers also on a back-to-back. They played last night against the Sacramento Kings, in which they came out on top 103-88. But they have the luxury of being at home, and the Brooklyn Nets are coming to town after playing the overtime game yesterday. Now, to Brooklyn's credit, they played at 12 o'clock yesterday afternoon. So they do get a little, even though they're on the back-to-back, they played at 12 o'clock yesterday afternoon, and so they get a little bit of a rest. But, so they had the game yesterday. They have a game tonight against Portland. This is the makeup game from December 23rd. They're off tomorrow, then they go to Chicago on Wednesday. That's going to be a very interesting game. All right? So that's 4 games, right? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So that's 3 games in 4 days. Then they have 4 games in 5 days because they have a back-to-back at home against Oklahoma City. So in this span, they have 4 games in 5 days. They had the game yesterday against the Spurs, in which they won at the buzzer, right? I think Cam Thomas hit the game winner. Then they have a game tonight, which is the makeup game against Portland. Then they turn around and go to Chicago on Wednesday, right? And then they have a back-to-back again against Oklahoma City. They're finally off on Friday, in which they're home on Saturday, where they take on the Pelicans. They're off again on Sunday, and then they go to Cleveland on that Monday, which is Martin Luther King Day. So they have a brutal stretch of games, right? And we already see now that they're trying to rest players, they're trying to preserve players for this brutal stretch of games. Now, the good news for the Brooklyn Nets is this is a relatively easy schedule. Their most difficult game is against the Chicago Bulls. if you look at their schedule, their most difficult game is against the Chicago Bulls. Now, you see these stretch of games, right? San Antonio Spurs, a bad team. Portland Trailblazers, a bad team. Chicago Bulls, a good team, right? Now, the Brooklyn Nets have a losing record against good teams. Don't believe me? I'm gonna pull it up for you because there's gonna be some people that disagree with me. There's some people think I'm capping, right? But don't worry, I'm gonna quell all your feelings and desires and all that. Oklahoma City, a bad team. New Orleans Pelicans, a bad team. The Cleveland Cavaliers came back down to earth after that hot start. A lot of that had to do with injuries, but nevertheless, it is what it is, right? You are what your record says you are. Washington Wizards, another team that came back down to earth after their hot start. So outside of the Chicago Bulls, the Brooklyn Nets have a relatively easy schedule, right? Now, for those of you that live in the world of make believe and think somebody just making up numbers as they go along to drive home a narrative and all that, I'm going to show you something, right? Because see, one thing LB does on this channel, he gives numbers, he gives context, right? I'm not going to sit here and just shoot from the hip, right? Because a lot of people, when you shoot from the hip, a lot of people think you just frothing off at the mouth with no context, right? Well, that ain't me. Now, let's go here. Now, as you can see here on your screen, for the bug-eyed, bubble-lip baboons that think that we just sit up here and we just shoot from the hip and all that, when me and Ticket and Too Raw, anybody else say the Brooklyn Nets beat up on bad teams, right? Look at their record against teams below 500. Matter of fact, I'm going to expand the screen for those of you that may not be able to see very well because you might be a little dyslexic. You know, you need a little cataracts to smoke some weed, some shit, right? Look at their record against teams below 500 versus teams that they are above 500. Look at that. 25-13, number 2 in the East. They're 10-10 against teams above 500, 15-3 against teams below 500 compared to other contenders like the Chicago Bulls, who have a 12-7 record against teams above 500. And look at that. They don't just beat up on the bad teams, they beat up on the good teams as well. How about that, right? Are the Bulls still a fraud? So if the Bulls can beat up on good teams and the bad teams, do we still consider the Chicago Bulls a fraud? Huh? Do we? Compared to the Brooklyn Nets, who just at 500 against teams above 500. And they have a 15-3 record against the bad teams, right? The Miami Heat, another team that I made the prediction that the Miami Heat would be an NBA Finals threat. I made that prediction before the season even began. Now, I noticed that not a whole lot of people will come in here and debate me about that, right? Not a whole lot of people will come in and debate me on basketball topics, right? And I believe not a whole lot of people will debate me on basketball topics because they know good and well when they come in this lion's den, they're gonna get put on the skewer. Now, will anyone challenge me on any basketball debate? I didn't think so. Now the Miami Heat are 14-10. They have a better record against good teams than the Brooklyn Nets. You see it here on the screen. So how can the Brooklyn Nets be contenders while the Chicago Bulls and Miami Heat be frauds? This should give you a good indicator of who are contenders and who are pretenders. Look at the 76ers 9-10 against good teams. The Milwaukee Bucks at 500 against good teams. This should give you a good indicator of who are the contenders and who are the pretenders. Let's look at the Lakers against teams below 500, above 500. Look at that. A lot of the team that a lot of people proclaiming to win the championship, right? The LA Lakers. Look at their record against good teams, 6-12. Y'all still think the Lakers are an NBA Finals threat? They can't beat good teams. They're 6-12 against good teams. That means teams that are above 500, they're only 6-12. And yet y'all still think this team can win a championship? Are you freaking kidding me? Look at the Golden State Warriors. Why do you think I made the video yesterday about contenders and pretenders? Look at this. Golden State 14-7 against teams above 500. Phoenix 14-5 against teams above 500. Utah 13-7 against teams above 500. Memphis Grizzlies 16-9 against teams above 500. These are your contenders right here. These other teams, like the Lakers, the Timberwolves, the Clippers, and all that, they're pretenders. Now, what's up, Will? Salute, bro. These are your contending teams right here. These other teams right here that's running around here mired in mediocrity, beating up on bad teams while getting their asses beat against good teams and all that. Those are your pretenders right there. And I'm telling you right now, the Brooklyn Nets, as of right now, they are pretenders. You cannot be mired in mediocrity and still think y'all can win an NBA championship. It don't work like that. Now, so y'all see where the Brooklyn Nets are right now in the East. They got a stretch of 5 games in 7 days. They got a game tonight against Portland, and they're on a back-to-back. And then turn around and play the Chicago Bulls on Wednesday. So Kyrie will play that game. But as I said before, the Portland Trailblazers are awful. Let's look, since we're on this, right? Let's look at the Portland Trailblazers, right? 15-24, just god awful. But that's who they're playing tonight. They're playing the Portland Trailblazers, right? Look at this shit. The Portland Trailblazers in their last 8 games, they're 2-6 in their last 8 games. They came off a win against the Kings last night. This was the game Saturday night when they got their head blown off. They were home against the Heat. I think this was a Thursday night game or Friday. Thursday game or whatever like that, they lost to the Heat, right? So the Portland Trailblazers are on a nice little homestand. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is their fifth game. They go on the road. Their next game, they're going on the road. They had a nice little homestand, and they're just 2-2, and probably they're going to lose tonight. So they'll be 2-3 in a 5-game homestand. They beat the Hawks, got their ass beat by the Heat, got their ass whooped by the Cavaliers, and they whooped up on the Sacramento Kings, right? And if you go back further than that, right, they got destroyed against the Lakers. That's the most impressive win by the Lakers to this date. Got crushed against the Jazz, got crushed against the Mavericks, got crushed against the Pelicans. I mean, this team just god awful. So the Brooklyn Nets, despite the fact James Harden and LaMarcus Aldridge not playing tonight, if they don't go down there and take care of business, right, then what are we gonna say about them now? If they go to Portland and lose this game, what are we gonna say about them that haven't been said already? Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving should go down there and take care of business tonight. Period. This team is awful. Look at it. All these guys are out. Lillard, McCollum, Larry Nance Jr., Norman Powell, right? So you're going to have, so the projected starting lineup will be Anthony Simons, Tony Snell, Nazir Little, Robert Covington, and Yusuf Nurkic. That's their starting lineup, projected. Now, you would think Dennis Smith Jr., given all the minutes that he had, and let an injury to go in there and light it up, but Dennis Smith Jr. has been awful. He has been god awful. So instead of Dennis Smith Jr., they're playing guys like Ben McLemore. Ben McLemore, a career journeyman. Ben McLemore, who started his career with the Sacramento Kings, has bounced around the league like a goddamn pinball machine. He got a lot of frequent flyer miles on his goddamn card, on his American Express card. He's been around the league so much. Been around the league and I can't find us. I can't find my baby. That's Ben McLemore for you. But their depth is really tested. Cody Zeller don't play a whole lot of minutes. So I'm barring Yusuf Nurkic getting in foul trouble or getting winded or whatever like that. If anything, they slide goddamn on Nazir Little to the 5. If Brooklyn go in there and take care of business, well, if I'm a boring channel, why the fuck you watching? Bye. If I'm a boring channel, you sitting here watching. Don't worry, I'll help you out. Anyway, troll coming in here, messing up my stilo. Anyway, so that's where we at with the Portland Trailblazers. They stink. To provide further context, This is where we at right now. Offensive rating, 12th out of 30th. Defensive rating, they're second to last. They should be able to get as many points as possible tonight, the Brooklyn Nets. So that's where we're at right now when it comes to their matchup tonight against against Portland. Brooklyn should go and take care of business because what do we always say? They beat up on bad teams. What's up, Trey? Hey, since you up in here, I'll let you in. All right, my channel Lane, while you're in here watching. Bye. Help your ass out. Just because I'm not on that rah-rah stuff. Because see, when you come in here, you're going to get context. You're not going to get a whole bunch of rah-rah, a whole bunch of this and that. You're going to actually get some stuff that actually will help you analyze basketball. And not that bullshit a lot of these guys out here be spouting. So if you think my channel lame, don't worry, just see your ass out. You ain't got to say it. Don't worry, I'll help your ass out. What's up, Trayvon?
What's going on? Nigga want you to do that Stephen A. Smith shit, huh?
Man, no one want me on that Stephen A. Smith shit. Fuck that fucking clown. I'm not that motherfucking bastard. Anyway.
Hey, yeah, but hey, you right. Hey, if the Lakers, and we know how bad their offense is, like, you know, just on, they ain't blowing out nobody. If the Lakers can go in there and blow Portland out, I know that the Nets should. It shouldn't be no problem. Y'all got too many offensive weapons. They only have fucking LeBron.
Well, LeBron, the Malik Monk.
Yeah, like, you know, that's what I'm saying. Look, really just LeBron, because Malik, I'm just saying what we look at him last. We know he's talented and know he can be a like, to me, I look at Malik Monk kind of like that Jamal Crawford, Lou Williams, like nigga that can just really he could be a starter or a bench, but I'd rather him, for me, if he was on my team, I'd rather him be coming off the bench.
Right.
So I'm saying it's really like it was just LeBron out there, like the main guy, superstar, like that was doing something like you want to quote him as that. But with the Nets, y'all got way more offensive weapons. It should be a fucking blowout. It shouldn't be no close game.
It shouldn't. And if there is a close game, something's definitely wrong in their Hills.
something definitely wrong with that defense over there, and they better get it right because they're not going to be facing no Portlands in their conference right now. It hasn't happened in 10 years. The Eastern Conference can have a bigger winning percentage than the West.
Right.
So that lets you know all of the majority of the teams in the Eastern Conference are playoff teams.
Right. And you see in the West, a lot of them dudes, like the Phoenix, the Golden States, the Memphises of the world, they all got records against 500 teams above 500.
Yeah.
I'm looking at that and I'm like, all right, motherfucker. All right, so what is the mainstream media? And then another thing too, how the fuck is LeBron James in the MVP conversation?
I don't know how he in the MVP conversation and Joker not.
So Ja Morant not in the MVP. So if LeBron James is in the MVP conversation, that means Ja Morant should be in it. Chris Paul should be in it. Yep. Curry, Joel Embiid should be in it. All them dudes should be in it way before him.
Yep. All them dudes was playing their asses off before injury protocols, all that shit. DeMar DeRozan, he should be in it.
Right. KD should not be in it, in my opinion.
What's your reasons on that with him?
For all the reasons I just mentioned. One, they beat up on bad teams and they can't beat the good ones.
Yeah. It's always, and now it seems like KD got that little problem. Like when he lose, here come the reasons why somebody didn't do something. Like I said, you can't count no other man buckets. You got to go out there and play to win.
All right, so in the video I did yesterday, right, I was in there with Gideon and a couple other guys, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, so if we say that KD is the one of the top two players in this world, right? And yet people are saying that Kyrie got the better skill set, then how can KD be one of the top two players in the world if we saying that Kyrie got the better skill set and the bigger clutch gene?
Yeah, that's why I said these players team up to cover up what their weak points are. Try to make it harder for you to see what they can't do.
Right.
Feel me? KD, hey, I don't really like, that clutch time. I don't, what I mean? I had crumbled in that 3-1 series, but I know Kyrie don't give a fuck. Kyrie clutch, so I got him for that. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm not really an assist man to where I get teams involved like that. I know James Harden could do that. So boom, that's where I got that coming for me at right there. All I can do is put that ball in the bucket, and that's all I want to focus on.
Right. And he's very good at putting the ball in the bucket.
Yeah, and it keeps him from expanding his game though. Like when you got that much, you know what I'm saying? It's like your back never really is against the wall too much because you're so relaxed out there off of what you got to help you. So I'll never be able to see you dig really deep and bring that real beast out on both ends. Like you got too many people, like, you know what I mean? Back, like, we always had defensive minded niggas, whatever you want to say, like, oh, that's our defensive player. But I just don't remember the superstars back in the day just being like where they had to have a defensive like minded guy. Like it was like back in the days that they were defensive minded themselves. They just stick the guy. They ain't have to, like, you get him and I'm only gonna go on offense. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna stick him on defense.
Right. That and when I hear about, oh man, he's a good two-way player, I'm like, two-way. Hey, look, bro, I'm gonna tell you right now, that shit infuriates me every time I hear, oh, how somebody is a good two-way player. I thought in the NBA, you're taught to play both ways. You're taught to play offense and defense.
You remember when they came? Look, they saying LeBron and KD is the best players in the league, but Kawhi is the best two-way player. I'm like, if he's the best two-way player, he's the best player in the league.
Right. That's my whole that's my whole thought process
What the
behind
fuck? Like, what did y'all not hear what the hell y'all just said?
it. Two-way player. I'm like, I thought the game was played two ways. That's
That's,
why
yeah,
in the game,
exactly. Like, what is this? Like, y'all trying to give something a name that's already, it's already there. Everybody's supposed to be a two-way player. You don't supposed to
right,
be a one-way player. Everybody that plays basketball supposed to know you're supposed to take the defensive side just as serious as you take the offense. You're supposed to try to learn new tactics on defense just like you do in offense. It's just like, oh, I learned how to go behind the back. I learned the spin move. Okay, I learned how to move my feet. I learned how to move my hands. I learned how to steal the ball. Like, you're supposed to do that shit.
and yet we just don't. I think a lot of times those guys be throwing in terms and all that to mask the deficiencies of set name of their favorite player. So when we started giving out MVPs to someone who only play on one side of the ball?
I told you what they doing. They trying to lower our standards when our standards was built up high. Like the old fashioned players made us, like, you want that. You want that to continue. It's like, hold on. I'm used to getting this, and now these niggas trying to make me like feel like this is okay. No,
Especially when we know what the standard is.
exactly. So that's where I see it's just a cover up, man. They just trying to do something. These dudes ain't as good as those players are, so they trying to make it seem like this is cool what they're doing.
No, it is not cool.
I know, and look, that's why I say the super team, make it yourself, not the GMs, the make it yourself super teams. Their percentage is way lower than the teams that put the super teams together themselves or whatever, put a championship team together.
Right.
Every team that these players pick themselves, they majority don't make it to the finals. Something happens before it, or they lose.
Yep. And another thing I hate too, because I hear a lot of people talking about using the injury excuse and all that. Look, this is my thing about that, man. You beat who's in front of you.
Man, it's always been an injury in every fucking season in the playoffs on both sides. Somebody's always missing, or they're 80% out there. You don't even know it.
Right. So this whole notion that, oh man, the only reason why this team win because such and such was hurt, or the only reason why this team lose is because such and such was hurt. Look, the whole argument, the whole reason I hate the whole injury dynamic when people try to make their little arguments and shit is motherfuckers be trying to use that. Motherfuckers be trying to have it both ways when it comes to that shit. You can't say, oh man, reason why this team got won because such and such player got hurt, and the only reason why this, and then in the same breath when your team get their ass beat, oh man, we had a whole bunch of people hurt. You can't have it both ways, bro.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why.
That's why I don't complain about it, because I know the Lakers from this season, last season, we beat a lot of teams when they didn't have 2-3 of their stars, or just one of them, or just key points like shit. So when we don't got them, I don't make no excuse. You got to go out there and still try to play and beat their ass.
Right.
Because if you don't win, and you're going to get cooked for losing games you had no business losing.
Exactly.
Right.
That's what's even worse. It's like, hold on, I don't even give a damn if you win the game. I'm looking at like, damn, they didn't have both of their superstars, plus they role like one of their role players, and these motherfuckers barely won by 1 or 2 points. This is bad. That's what I'd be looking at.
Yep. All right, Gideon, what you got?
Salute. And you made some great points. When people say that, oh, the Suns only won because of injuries, I get irritated, because here's what people don't seem to understand, right? The Nuggets without Jamal Murray beat the Blazers, right? And people don't forget that the Utah Jazz choked to the Clippers without Kawhi Leonard. The Phoenix Suns took advantage of their opportunity, same through the Milwaukee Bucks. It's not those teams' fault that it's not Phoenix and Milwaukee's fault that they beat injured teams. They took advantage and deserved their credit. Because I want to ask people this question, right? If they had lost to those injured teams, you'll be clowning them, right? So give them credit, because injuries are a part of the game.
And that's what I always say, man. You beat who's in front of you.
Right. And like I said, the Suns played the Nuggets and the Clippers, and the same Nuggets and Clippers beat the Jazz and the Blazers with injuries. So, and even don't forget this too, LB. Chris Paul didn't play the first 2 games in the conference final. So Clipper fans cannot make excuses. Nuggets fans cannot make excuses. And the Lakers, I know you lost Anthony Davis and LeBron was not 100%, but Chris Paul wasn't 100% neither. He had a shoulder injury. But people who are biased will ignore that,
And this is what happens when you have a whole bunch of LeBron James dick licks in the media, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you have a whole bunch of dick licks and shaft grabbers in the media, what's up, Unique Don? Salute to you, my sister. Mwah. When you got these shaft grabbers in the media that will sit up here and try to, hedge their arguments and try to have it both ways and have revisionist histories and all that.
Mm-hmm.
This is where when you have all that going on, you have the result of some dum-dum who don't know nothing about basketball, some bug-eyed, bubble-lip baboon just spitting a whole bunch of babble.
Right.
Try to come on here and say someone capping. When the numbers, because I don't go off projections, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just want everybody to know. When I'm doing the evaluation of who I think is the MVP and who I think is the defensive player of the year and who I think is the fucking coach of the year, whatever like that, right? At the end of the year.
Right.
I go off the results. Mm-hmm. That's why I had a problem with people saying that Monty Williams was the coach of the year, was not the coach of the year last year. I had a big problem with that.
I hear you, because people keep saying that, oh, the Suns were talented, but here's the thing, right? No, I mean, I think it's fair, but I can see why you think it's Monty, Because here's the thing: nobody predicted the Suns to be the number 2 seed in the West, let alone the NBA. And people keep coming with this excuse: "Oh, the Lakers were injured." Do you know how many times the Knicks beat injured teams last year, but no one says anything?
Well, there's a deeper level than that, right? Outside the fact that the Phoenix Suns won more games, they were top 10 in both offensive and defensive efficiency,
Yeah, absolutely, man.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But Phil,
Hold on. Outside those factors, there's one factor, and there's one glaring factor, right? That a lot of people overlook and undervalue, in my opinion. A lot of the media members who vote for Coach of the Year,
right,
are in New York. So guess who get to see New York Knicks games? Those guys the same people that are voting, right? Typically, Phoenix Suns games are like 10 o'clock on the West Coast. How many of those guys are sitting up there watching Phoenix Suns games afterwards?
Zero. I mean, I'm a Knicks fan, but I do like watching the Suns. But the media, like you said, they don't watch the Suns a lot. And also, they keep coming with this excuse, oh, but he added Chris Paul. Dude, Chris Paul was starting to get old. You know what I mean? And also...
but Gideon, hold on. Gideon. Remember, these were the same people, right? Because you had that tall, jolly green, giant ass clown buffoon, and Ryan Hollins was the one when he got traded from Houston to OKC. He was the one running to talk about how he's done, how he don't got it no more. Now, mind you, Ryan Hollins is the backup to the backup on many NBA rosters, right? Not only that, this guy couldn't get on the court in the Big Three league.
Good point.
Chris Paul is going to go to the International Basketball Hall of Fame. This dude can't go to the Basketball Hall of Fame in the Big Three league, and yet he running his motherfucking mouth about goddamn Chris Paul, talk about how he done it. He don't got it no more.
Right.
No, motherfucker.
And I want to add to your point too. I also want to add to your point. Don't forget, Phoenix was 8-8 to start last year. The Suns were 8-8 to start last season. When they were 8-8, I want to ask you, LB, when the Suns started off 8-8, did you predict Phoenix to be the number 2 seed in the West?
No.
That's my point.
But see, this is why I don't go off projections. You had a lot of these guys. What the first thing that came out they rabbit ass mouths. The first thing that came out their mouth, oh man, no one projected the Knicks to be number 4 in the East. And then when I debunked that by saying, okay, no one projected Phoenix to be number 2 in the West. Then they came back and said, well, the Knicks ain't made the playoffs since 2013.
And the Suns haven't made it since 2010. So what's your point?
But they had less talent.
Doesn't matter though. Doesn't mean nothing.
It doesn't matter if you're talented or not. Look, everybody in the NBA is talented.
The Wizards had less talent than the Knicks, but they were worse. What's your point?
No,
look, everybody played the same amount of games.
Less.
But that doesn't mean nothing.
Everybody played the same amount of games, right? What are we going off? We going off projections or we going off results? Because at the end of the season, you can't go off projection. You can't project one thing and then in the same breath be like, well, we gave it to him because we didn't project them to do. We under-projected them and they really exceeded projections. What are we going off? Projections or results? What the results say? So that's what we should be basing our assessment of. The results, not projections.
And also, another thing to add to your point, the Miami Heat had way more talent than the Knicks, but he was a 6 seed. So having more talent doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you can have a more talented team and sometimes be worse than a team that's less talented than you.
Would you got to add Kid Trunks?
No, that's all. Like I still feel like, in my opinion, that Tom Thibodeau should have won Coach of the Year. But since the topic that's on the screen, man, hold on, what the topic? Yeah. What was the topic again? Oh, the
Brooklyn Nets. We were talking about the Brooklyn Nets playing 6 games in 8 days.
Oh, that's a lot of games. I mean, they got to prove themselves, man. Who do you play against?
They got Portland. Let me see.
You got to rewind the video because I don't feel like pulling that thing back up.
I can get it.
No, I can bring the schedule up. Let me bring it up. I know they're playing Portland today, but then they got Chicago on Wednesday.
Oh,
they're in Chicago.
Kyrie coming back. Oh,
true.
Is Kyrie coming back today?
No, I mean he'll play today. Yeah, he'll play. He'll play.
So he gonna play back to back. Oh Lord have mercy.
Right.
What's after that?
After the Bulls, then they got their home against the Thunder in a back-to-back.
Okay.
Then they're home. Then Saturday they're home against the Pelicans.
Damn. Okay.
Then they're at Cleveland MLK Day next Monday.
Amazing. Okay.
And then Wednesday, since the 6-game mark we're talking about, they're at the Wizards they're at Washington against your Wizards.
Oh, that's Brooklyn gonna
I
win.
might go to that game, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I might
Yeah,
go
I
to that
know
game.
Brooklyn gonna win that one.
They should, and I think they will. Yeah.
I just might go to that game before I go to work. I just might go to that game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Like I told you, bro. I feel like Brooklyn they're gonna lose at least 1 or 2 games. That's it.
I think they lose in Chicago, and I think
when Kyrie coming back.
I say they lose in Chicago. I say that's a 50. I have a weird feeling that might happen, though. I have a weird feeling.
I mean, yeah, it could, but
I mean, we all could agree they're gonna destroy the Blazers. They're gonna kick their ass. They're gonna beat the Thunder. They're gonna beat the Pelicans. The Wizards. I think they could beat the Wizards. The only loss I can really see is really the Bulls. That's it.
Yeah, they can only lose probably just 1 game. In
Right.
that 8 game week strand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got a point about that, man.
True.
Yeah, man. I know it's not the topic in the screen, but man, how you guys feel about the Fakers, aka Los Angeles Lakers?
Inconsistent. My word, inconsistent.
We talked about that before you came in.
Damn. Golly.
They're not consistent.
There was a clip and video of LeBron getting a paper sheet, and I think he was looking at like the numbers, the stats or whatever. And I think Russ was trying to talk to him, but LeBron just annoyed him. Like LeBron just he didn't answer him.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron just looked on the paper and and Russ asked him a question or something, and he just didn't answer him.
Right.
He ignored him. Oh, this team got no chemistry at all, man. It's over, bro. You seen?
Yeah.
Nothing we hadn't told you already.
I knew this was LB. I promise you, bro. I've been saying this shit was not gonna work. Only if they probably put Russ in the bench.
I knew this team was gonna be inconsistent. I thought maybe top 4 seed in the West, but currently constructed, this team is gonna barely make the playoffs unless they make a move.
Listen, I mean they gotta trade Russ, but if they don't, they gotta put that nigga in the bench. If they don't, I'm just gonna keep laughing and just watch it.
Trade Russ to where?
Entertainment, huh?
So let me stop you right there because I read something earlier today that the trade market for Russell Westbrook is very low.
Yeah.
Damn.
So they stuck with them for a while, maybe.
Yeah, they're stuck.
Like how low? Like what could they get back, bro? What's the best?
Look, normally when you throw a boomerang, the boomerang's supposed to come back with something, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if the boomerang keeps going and doesn't come back, then that should tell you everything you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
This team is stuck with Russell Westbrook. Because what did I say in the previous video I did, right?
Mm-hmm.
For all you bug-eyed, bubbling baboons that think I got a boring channel, maybe you should actually put something in your brain that way some intellectual come out your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I said in the previous video, of the 10 teams that are contending for an NBA championship, how many of those teams do you know that are chomping at the bit to get Russell Westbrook? There's like, man, if we had Russell Westbrook, that's the missing piece.
I think zero. I mean, zero. I mean, before you continue, LB, to tell the viewers, again, Westbrook is a great player, but his style of play just doesn't fit with LA. That's what we're saying.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, I mean, it should take a dimwit with half an IQ size to recognize that by now. But even then, how many of those guys are chomping at the bit to say, "Oh man, the Lakers trade Russell Westbrook, man, they really fucked up"?
Nobody, man.
Nobody. Who's good? Unless, I mean, no disrespect to Westbrook, but unless a team is really dumb right now, who's going to trade for an older Westbrook? This isn't MVP Westbrook, you know?
even as MVP Westbrook, right? Think about it, Gideon.
Okay.
Even as MVP Westbrook, right? When everybody was talking about how he was a consummate professional and all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
What were people saying behind the scenes, right? Because remember, when he was with Billy Donovan in OKC, a lot of people were giving Billy Donovan the side eye, right?
Right.
Billy Donovan, man, he just coached them on Dennis Shirley. You see what he doing with the Chicago Bulls, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was number one in the East. So who was really the problem?
That's a good point there. That's a good point there. That's a good point. To me, it was a little bit of both. I said a little bit of both because here's why. Westbrook, yes, he's a head case. Yes, sometimes he takes bad shots. Yes, sometimes he can be a turnover prone. But also, Donovan deserves some sort of blame because he didn't make adjustments. We have to be honest.
Well, how can you make adjustments to someone that don't want to listen to the coach?
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Exactly, man. They're like, and there's no team that really, even the low ranking teams, they don't want to trade to get him because they're gonna mess up the young rooks chemistry, like Cole
Yeah.
Anthony from Orlando, Cunningham, whatever his name is,
Kid coming from Detroit.
Detroit, yeah. And what's another bad team that's doing that right now? You can even say the same thing with the Houston Rockets. You know, you don't want to mess up Jalen Green's or any of the young Bucks chemistry what they have going on. They want those type of players to develop in those low ranking teams and the players that they just drafted and picked. So it's really over for him, man.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, you done. Like that max contract, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that max contract, yeah, out the window. Any GM that shell out the mega dollars for this guy, look, you don't need to be GM. You need to be selling car insurance for Geico.
Right. Unless you want excitement to this point, unless you like the Kings, you may not want to trade for Westbrook. The Kings, I mean,
Trash.
I want to ask you guys: do you think they'll trade De'Aaron Fox or no? What do you think?
No, that's my opinion though.
What do you think?
I think yes. I think they will trade De'Aaron Fox. The person they're prioritizing is Tyrese Halliburton. That's the person they're prioritizing.
Mm-hmm.
Look, any deal involving Tyrese Halliburton is a no-go. Tell you right now, De'Aaron Fox been in the league longer. He might be a little disgruntled for all we know. He's more likely to be moved than Tyrese Halliburton. Now, mind you, they just re-signed De'Aaron Fox to a max contract. And then he got like $95 million.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that, motherfuckers can't be moved because if motherfucker want to move you, you get moved.
Yeah.
No matter how much money you make. But any deal involving Tyrese Halliburton is off the table. I'm going to tell you right now.
I agree with that.
Some shocking, unforeseen circumstance to where if someone's giving you a deal that's too good to refuse and all that, outside of that, Tyrese Halliburton ain't going nowhere.
Right.
Harrison Barnes and Marvin Bagley and Medu is another guy that they prioritize and they don't want to let go. But yeah, those two guys right there. Outside of those two guys, everybody else on the table.
Mm-hmm.
The Kings ain't going nowhere, no way. And then Alvin Gentry, he just keeps on getting chance after chance after chance and keep on fucking up every chance after chance after chance. So, good indicator that they'll be looking for a new coach yet again this year. And the Kings fucked up by letting go of Dave Joerger.
Dave Joerger did a good job in 2019. Even though the Kings didn't have a winning record, they showed a lot of promise that year. Like they were sharing the ball, they were moving the ball, getting guys in transition. The Kings, they only won 39 games in 2019, but that's like the most since what? 2006? The last time the Kings were in the playoffs?
I mean, even with Mike Malone, and if you follow my channel, you know how much I do not like Mike Malone. And yet, he somehow got the Denver Nuggets playing winning basketball.
Sure.
He was, a matter of fact, he was with DeMarcus. They got DeMarcus Cousins. The Nuggets do.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right. And Boogie did like Mike Malone the most when he was there. Boogie did like Mike Malone there.
yep.
Right. And speaking of trades, do you think Atlanta should consider getting Ben Simmons?
For who?
I
What
mean,
was
I
it
heard
about?
John Collins might be gone. Maybe Cam Reddish might be traded. Do you think the Hawks should consider trading for Ben Simmons?
Okay, and then okay, so this is the problem with that trade. What's up, TJ? Salute to you, my brother. This is the problem with that trade, in my opinion, right?
Mhm. Right.
So where you gonna put Trey Young? Because if Ben Simmons the primary ball handler, you gonna have Trey Young as the you can move him to the 2.
I mean, you don't really have a. I mean, if you're the
And then,
Hawks, you don't really have a choice.
and then who you gonna play at? Who you gonna play at power forward if you get rid of John the Baptist?
That's a good point, though. That's a good point because Gallinari. That's the point because Gallinari is old. Yeah, and Capella will stay at the 5. So yeah, you made some good points there. I'm not saying they should make it. I'm just asking the question. I don't think the Hawks should make that move. I don't think they should. I think they should just keep their team. Maybe get another shot blocker to help out Capella. That's what I think the Hawks should do.
But they got shot blocking Clint Capella.
Yeah, but I said to help out Capella, to help him out. That's what I'm trying to say. Because when Capella sits down, you don't have real rim protection.
Okay, they got Gorgie Dang. They come bring in Gorgie Dang for rim protection.
You think he protects the rim? He's more of a stretch big, though.
Gorgie Dang can block shots. Now, I don't prefer, Gorgie Dang to be out there shooting threes and shit with like he did against the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
That's not where his bread is buttered. If you ask me.
I agree.
Gorgie Dang be bad, because that's why you brought in Gorgie Dang and then you got another guy. Oh, what the fuck is that guy's name?
Okongwu?
Yes. What the purpose of Okongwu? He plays good in stretches.
True. He's an energy player, yeah.
So, which goes back to my original point. If you trade away John the Baptist, a guy who can create his own shot and play down low and bang and do all this other stuff, right? And can rebound.
Right.
So if you get rid of John the Baptist, you put in Ben Simmons. You think Ben Simmons gonna want to play the 4? Will he be open to playing the 4?
That's a good point. What
do you think, Kid Trunks?
Say that one more time.
We're talking about the Hawks potentially trading for Ben Simmons. Do you think they should make that move?
I mean, I think it'll be somewhat okay because you got Ben Simmons. He can also help Trae Young with the playmaking, floor general stuff like that. He also brings defensive presence. I'm probably saying the same thing you guys said earlier. I think they should probably do it. If you ask me.
But would you give up John Collins and Cam Reddish for that?
Ooh,
because it could cost a lot, though.
It depends. I would not do that. And then another thing that we haven't touched on yet, right? Ben Simmons' attitude.
Right. His attitude. He's a good player in my opinion, but he's not willing to get better.
Okay, so I kind of disagree with you on that. I don't think he is a good player.
You don't think so? I mean, again, I understand. Go ahead.
You can't be a great player if your offensive game is limited.
I'm not saying he's great. I said he's good. Fine, let me change it. Decent. He's decent. I mean, he can pass. He's a good rebounder, defender. I'm just saying that he needs to learn to get an outside shot, though. Because the fact that he's averaging 16 points per game in his whole career, and he's been at least since 2017, is kind of unacceptable. And the fact that he cannot make free throws, yeah, I get what you're saying, man.
See?
I still think he's a decent player, but I do agree that he's offensively limited. Because if he clogged the paint with Ben, then what can he do offensively? Nothing.
Right? And he made it known during one of his many diatribes when he was like, "Well, as long as you're on the feet down near the paint, man, I can't drive to the basket."
Then shoot the ball. Then
They hit a mid range. Ben, get a little bit of a mid range, at least a baseline or an elbow J. At least
and
that.
I'm hearing they're not even gonna trade Ben Simmons. What I heard.
They
And for
might.
good reason, they don't have to.
Yeah, they can
They
use it
don't
for
have
money.
to.
That's free money right there, man.
He got that's his problem.
And then Ben won't.
Look,
Right.
Philadelphia got Ben Simmons dead to rights. Okay, they don't got to trade him, and they don't have to. And Daryl Morey don't really have to acquiesce to his trade demands.
Right.
He don't.
Right.
They got him for 4 more years. He signed that contract. That contract is fucking. The ink is dry on that contract. They got him dead to rights.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it would have been one thing if Ben Simmons had 1 year left on his deal and he had those antics. Then Philadelphia had no choice because at the end of the year, Ben Simmons would walk. And Philadelphia be left with a dick in their hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
But since Ben Simmons got 4 more years, Philadelphia got him dead to rights. They don't have to acquiesce, and they don't have to cave to his demands. No,
Right.
we'll just stand pat. You want to play hardball? We'll play hardball too.
Good point. Good point. So you're saying that Philly should not baby him. All right, I agree with that. And I hate it when people keep saying, oh, he didn't have. People also like saying, oh, Ben didn't have shooters. He had shooters in Philly. I mean, don't forget the Sixers were like top 10 in 3-point shooting almost every year with Ben. So they had shooters. You had Seth Curry. You had Butler sometimes. You had Korkmaz that could shoot the three. You had Embiid that's capable of hitting threes. Harris that's capable of hitting threes. I said Seth Curry. You had Maxey that's capable of hitting threes. Danny Green. Who?
Yeah, exactly. Because that's a big reason why. I remember 2 years ago when LeBron, what's his name, Joel had his big slump. He was only averaging like 20, 19 points a game because he had to step up and shoot and be the shooter for the team. But that's when Doc Rivers came in and changed that whole system and just let Joel stay in the post all day.
Right. I mean, Philly also has shooting. Yeah, Danny Green, Thibault that can hit the three, Korkmaz that can hit the three, and Embiid that can hit the three. You had Harris that can hit the three, Butler sometimes that can hit the three, Redick, who's a good 3-point shooter, Ennis who can hit the three. It's not like Ben didn't have shooters, but he's not willing to change his game. Yes, I understand he can pass and defend, but in today's game, you're going to need a point guard that can stretch the floor in today's game to take the pressure off your best player. Because Embiid's going to get doubled in the playoffs, though, especially at the baseline. And Simmons has to be willing to be ready to stretch the floor because teams are not going to let him to go full speed ahead. But people who don't get that, people just think that, oh, if he puts shooters around, he'll be successful. He had shooting in Philly, and he's not been successful. Like, think about this, guys. Philly's only won 3 playoff series with Ben Simmons. That's impossible. They've never been to a conference final. That's embarrassing, man. To me, the Sixers, if you give Joel Embiid a De'Aaron Fox or Malcolm Brogdon, he will go to further in the playoffs.
I mean, yeah, you know what? That is kind of true, but I ain't gonna disagree with you about that.
What do you think, LB? If you give the Sixers a Malcolm Brogdon or a De'Aaron Fox, do you think Philly would go to a conference final?
The problem with that is I don't see neither one of those guys. Well, maybe I don't see neither one of those guys as needle movers, man.
I'm not saying they will. I'm just saying that if they had one of those guys, at least
they have potential, but I just don't see it, bro.
Okay.
Especially, you gotta think when. All right, so one dynamic that don't really get talked about is the role, how the change of scenery impact their role. All right. So De'Aaron Fox commands the basketball a lot in Sacramento. The only other guy he shares the ball with, as far as usage standpoint, is Tyrese Halliburton, because Buddy Hield shot dependent. Fucking Marvin Bagley, he could get some usage, but he don't see the minutes, right? Mm-hmm. Harrison Barnes is just Harrison Barnes, right? Right. He play a lot of minutes, do a whole lot of nothing, right? Right? So
Okay.
he commands the ball a lot, right? So
Right.
when you go to Philadelphia and you already got Tobias Harris and you already got a Joel Embiid, and then you already got guys like Tyrese Maxey and all that, they come off of Tyrese Maxey, then the argument could be debated a little less, not by much, but a little less.
Right.
Yeah,
But
I think
when you go to that team, when you go to a new team, you may not be asked to do as much.
Good point. And the system might change. Yeah, good point.
I think the one thing that Philly needs to do right now is like trade to either get DeAndre Fox.
De'Aaron Fox. You mean De'Aaron?
I mean,
Oh,
De'Aaron Fox,
De'Aaron, my
right?
fault. De'Aaron Fox, and try their best to get Jaylen Brown.
Boston said they're not going to trade Brown or Tatum. That's what they said today.
Yeah, not right now. They said not right now.
You
Well,
think Boston? You think the Celtics will trade Brown or Tatum? You think so?
No, because if I was Boston, I would not trade Jason Tatum or Brown. Only if it's a really good offer. Now Ben
Okay.
Simmons he's not nowhere near a great offer. Like an offer you can definitely say, oh yeah, let's do it right now.
Right.
Let's do this
What do you
trade.
think?
Huh?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you're about to finish your point.
Yeah, I was saying like, I mean, I just really think Boston, their problem, they just need a point guard or a playmaker. That's it. Right
Big
now,
time
competition is stiff right now to find like a good playmaker or like a floor general. But I think they just need time to get one. And after that, their problem is fixed, honestly, because that's their only problem.
They also need depth of their bench. They have no bench depth at all.
That's true, but if that's the case, that's why you got Jaylen Brown and just Tatum and also Marcus Smart to come in. I'm not saying like they can be like a 3-headed monster like Brooklyn or whatever, but they got to step up and play for the plate, man.
Right. What do you think, LB? Do you think Boston? Do you think the Celtics are going to trade Brown or Tatum at the deadline? You don't think so?
Nope.
He said no.
Yeah, he said no.
Nope. I don't think they trade. I don't think none of those guys get traded. I don't think Tatum or Jaylen Brown get traded. Now, the person who I think most likely get traded is Dennis Schroeder because he's on a 1-year veterans minimum.
Right.
And you got Marcus. Well, they just re-signed Marcus Smart. So the Romeo Langfords and the fucking now one person that I haven't talked about yet is Robert Williams, the Time Lord. But they got a log jam at power forward and center. So
true.
Either Robert Williams, Grant Williams, or Al Horford, along with Dennis Schroeder, be the ones that be on the chopping block.
Right.
But the core of that team, Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, will remain pretty much intact.
Right.
Wait, what? What you got?
All right. So, like, I read the title. Shout out to the Brooklyn Nets. Yo, them boys doing their thing. Just ended a 5-game losing streak. Shout out to Cam Thomas, young bull, handling his biz. Great pass from Kevin Durant, knowing that he had two people pulling up on him. Instead of trying to play hero ball or AKA y'all tennis, he actually played fundamental basketball, gave it to the young bull, laid it up by 2 with 1.2 seconds left. Hold down the defense, called anchor that shit down, got that W. Spurs is a scrappy team. I don't like when y'all niggas be trying to say Spurs ain't nobody. That's a grown-ass man. A grown man. We can't say grown man don't like to play. Grown man out there fighting hard every play. Niggas ain't give up not one bit. Scrappy. Love it. That's why you call it regular season. Love it. Shout out to Greg Popovich. You know what I'm saying, for just still being consistent, showing championship mentality with his team, regardless of who's on there. And like I said, tonight gonna be beautiful. We got Kyrie Irving back for the next 2 games.
Big piece.
Good warm-up game. I believe that Damian Lillard, CJ, and Jess, who went in protocols yesterday, Powell, should not be playing tonight. So That should be a strong test. We gotta shut down Simmons, the young bull. He's pretty great.
You meant Anthony Simons.
Simon Simmons, you caught it. So we're gonna keep on going. Like I was saying, like I said, we gotta handle that situation. Going there. Road Warriors, we got the best Road Warrior record. Cause we that lethal on the road. So love it. 6 games, 8 nights. Shit. Let's turn up.
Right. And you have a pretty, your schedule's not that bad. I mean, you have Portland tonight. Chicago's gonna be a challenge.
It's gonna be a
Challenge.
beautiful challenge, though.
It's gonna be a huge challenge, beautiful challenge. 2 teams we might see in the conference final. Then you got this OKC. You should win that. Washington. Washington's a decent team this year, but I think that Brooklyn should win that. And then you have New Orleans in there. All you have to do is you should just beat the teams you're supposed to beat. That's it. With watch, just beat the teams you're supposed to beat, and you're good.
Like I said, I'm gonna say this one more time. These grown ass men, so it's gonna be difficult just to say you gotta beat these teams like you're supposed to. You just gotta go in there. We gotta stay poised. We gotta stay disciplined. Do not look over our competition. And like I said, we're gonna handle our business.
That's what I'm saying. Like you just said, stay poised, stay focused, don't joke around.
But we gotta keep it a buck. Like I understand all them names and teams you just named, but we got to take it day by day. We gotta worry about 10:30 Eastern time right now. That's all we gotta worry about right now tonight. Portland, in front of us.
Good point. Right.
Yeah.
Steph Curry ruled out Monday.
Wow. Crazy. It's Clay time, baby. Oh shit, Clay not gonna probably play back to back. He probably might not do that.
No, then yeah.
Should, though.
You think they should play him back to backs? You think so?
Bro, they've been safeguarding this nigga since Christmas.
Good point.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how long you gonna keep safeguarding him?
That's a good point.
He good. You put him in the starting lineup. You actually only play him 20 minutes. So when Steve Kerr said all that, I think it was just straight air. So he might not play tonight.
Right. The Warriors are not playing tonight. The Warriors are playing tomorrow in Memphis, and there's no Draymond Green tomorrow, by the way.
So Steph Curry out for that game, LB?
No, Seth for the.
No, Seth Curry for the Sixers.
Oh, Seth. Oh,
they're in Houston.
TH. Okay.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay.
That'll be a fun game. Golden State, Memphis, 2 teams we might see in the second round of the playoffs. Gritty game. Both teams great, hard-nosed defensive teams. Both teams athletic. Both teams share the ball. It's going to be a fun game, especially in the grindhouse. It's going to be fun.
I agree.
And Memphis is on a 9-game winning streak, too? Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, but I'm gonna have to give you a fit because that's straight cap. I'm gonna have to give you a fit. Like, do you like no snapbacks? Do you like the snapback? Which one do you like? Which one you like prefer, G?
Like, what do you mean?
Like you cap. So I'm trying to figure out what fit you like. Do you like snapbacks? Do you like the ones with the numbers on top? Or is it just full cap? How you want to do this? Because the second round statement is crazy.
It's not. The thing about it, the
Memphis is going to the Western Conference Finals. I don't know about Golden State. They're going to have to be there too if you're going to talk like that.
No, what I'm trying to say is this. If the standings stay the same, right, the Warriors will be number 1. The Grizz will be number 4. If, assumingly, both teams advance, they'll play in the second round. That's what I'm trying to say.
All right, so you hit me with a drunk man statement, and then you hit me with some assuming shit. So it's kind of tough to go off of that. But like I said, at the end of the day, them 2 niggas got to be in the Western Conference Finals. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're doing that today, if the today ends and tomorrow's the playoffs, I don't like playing them weird games. You know what I'm saying? I know at the end of the day, them boys had to be in the Western Conference Finals. I don't know how it would happen. Them boys had been there.
No, I have the Warriors and the Suns.
For Memphis to be proven, they're gonna have to knock off the Suns in the second round, so they could be taken serious. Golden State gonna take them serious anyway. But for the casuals, a lot out here, they're gonna be like, oh shit, like they took out the Suns. Now it's on to the Warriors. Now you're gonna have a battle.
Okay.
That's a fabulous take, by the way. That's a fabulous take.
Okay then. All
I know
right.
what the hell just happened, but okay. We'll go along with it.
Right. So yeah. So Clay Thompson looked pretty good last. I mean, Clay started off rusty, then he got hot, so he looked pretty good. I mean, it's gonna take him time for him to adjust. So I mean, but like you said, LB, he's gonna have his moments in which he's gonna look like the old Clay Thompson, and he's gonna have his moments in which I believe that he's gonna struggle here and there. So I mean, time will tell. But if the Warriors can just continue to execute, they should be good. I have him going to the Western Conference Finals and playing against the Suns. That's just me. But it will be a challenge. I know you have him going to the NBA Finals. I just gotta see how this team looks in the playoffs first. But as of right now, I got Warriors and Suns in the conference finals. That's just me.
Um, I don't know about that, but okay. You say Suns and Warriors?
In the conference final, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, I can buy from that.
Yeah, I know. Wait, well, doesn't want to do hype predictions, but that's him. Sometimes I understand we cannot predict the future for every single thing, but for certain things, you kind of can. Like, I'll give you an example. 2018, we knew it was going to be the Rockets and the Warriors in the conference final. What happened? Predictability. And again, I know people like to say, "Oh, injuries and COVID," but even if those things were to happen, maybe a team can still be good enough to still advance through that. I'll give you an example. The Clippers last year, they didn't have Kawhi for 2 games and still managed to beat the Utah Jazz. So I'm just saying is that, and also another thing too, we can't always assume injuries or something. You can't always assume that, because if you want to do that, both teams can get hurt, even the underdogs too. What I try to do is that when I make predictions, I just assume every team is healthy.
Okay.
Sup, kid?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, what's up, man? Yeah, man. Yeah, bro. Clay Thompson, man, he looking dominant. He looking pretty good. He look rusty, but I still got to see more from him. He looked pretty good on defense too. I'm not gonna lie. He looked quick. He looked fast paced almost. That's basically my opinion about it.
I mean, I thought he looked all right. He started off a little slow, but he started to come on later in the game, started to find his rhythm. I mean, it's good. It's going to take him some time for him to adjust, but if he can just continue to, not do too much and continue to just do his job, they should be good.
I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah, man, you right about that, bro. But hey, yo, I was just watching Ticket, man. That'd be funny, bro. Cooking them Bamas, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you got people capping at you, bro. Like saying, like, I remember like 3 months ago, people were actually saying the Lakers just are gonna be just fine, man.
I don't know, man. This team's too inconsistent for me. I don't see the Lakers, unless the Lakers make a move. I don't see this team going far, man. This roster is too flawed.
It's over,
And look,
man.
the people that say that shit, they're dumb as fuck. Okay, look, that's the bottom line. Look, some people you can't fix stupid. That's the problem. A lot of these guys out here just saying all kinds of dumb shit for shock value. Look, it comes to a point you just can't take everybody with you.
Right. Right. And some people keep saying that, oh, this team's going to the finals. That's not gonna happen. Like, here's why it's not gonna happen. They don't guard the interior. They don't move the ball at all. They don't their perimeter shooting's bad. Also, they don't have a consistent bench. I'm sorry. I mean, Melo. Example. Look at Melo. I love Melo. Melo plays well in LA, but on the road he struggles. Also, they don't give Malik Monk the ball when he's hot. Same thing, Avery Bradley. I just think this Laker team is flawed. I mean, they have talent. I know you don't think they'll make the playoffs, LB. I still think they do, but unless this team makes a change, this team's not going to go far. They're just too inconsistent for me.
Mm, yeah.
What do you think about the Clippers? How far do you think the Clippers can go this year? The Clippers.
I don't know. Hard to assess them without them being at full strength.
Right.
So it's like I won't know anything until Paul George and
Paul George, Kawhi, Kennard,
Reggie Jackson, guys like that come back.
Right. That's true, because if the season ended right now, they'll be in the play-in. If the season ended right now, they just need to just get healthy. If they can just get healthy and get their chemistry together, they have a shot. I don't think they'll go for it this year, but I think next year, if they're healthy, they can do something.
Right?
Yeah.
I agree. So,
but another team we don't talk about, the Timberwolves, they've been a surprise. They won 4 in a row. Russell, good playmaker. Cat has had a big season. Anthony Edwards, he's underrated, man. And Pat Bev is a hard-nosed bloodhound. The Wolves have been a surprise team. Do you think they can make the playoffs, man?
they got a shot to make the play-in game, but I'm not expecting too much from the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Okay. Right. Right. For me, I think they'll make the play-in, the playoffs. I'm going to see how they look around March, but play-in, if they can just stay healthy, they have enough talent, though, to make the play-in. But you'll know what's so crazy? The bottom of the West is so terrible that New Orleans has a shot making the playoffs. OKC has a shot making the playoffs. Sacramento has a shot making the playoffs. San Antonio has a shot making the playoffs. The bottom of the West is so terrible. But the bottom of the East is just mediocre. Really from Washington down.
I agree.
Yeah. You think the Knicks make the playoffs?
They need to make a move, but I just don't understand how they thought Evan Fournier was their difference maker.
It was not.
I just don't understand why would you make that move for him. He stinks.
I don't think he stinks. I just think he's just inconsistent.
Oh, he stinks. He stinks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And also the Kemba Walker move. I know Kemba's a good player, but he has knee injuries now. I mean, I didn't understand the move by Leon Rose and Scott Perry. I didn't understand that. And, Randall's been up and down all year. RJ's been up and down all year. Quigley's all right. Alec Burks has been up and down. It's like, I just don't think we lost our identity, man. I mean, our offense sucks. Our defense comes and goes. And our third quarters are just so bad. Last year's Knicks team had so much pride and confidence. And last year's team, to me, enjoyed playing with each other. This year's team, to me, I'm just not seeing the same hunger, man. You know what I mean? Like, it's unbelievable. And also, we've been a mediocre home team all year. Last year, we were 25-11 at home. We're already 9-11 at home this year. Like, we got to be a better home team, man. What I think we need maybe is a forward and maybe a point guard. I just don't think Kemba and Fournier are the answer. I just don't see it, man. And also, we might need to get a stretch 5. If I were New York, I would either trade Noel or Mitch to get a Miles Turner. What do you think?
Definitely not Miles Turner.
You don't think so?
Mm-mm. What can Miles Turner provide you that's going to move the needle in your favor?
I mean, I'm not saying he's great. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying is that he's a better. Hear me out. This 1, he can protect the rim. 2, he can stretch the floor, and he is a reliable free throw shooter. I'm not saying he's an all-star. But he is a better player than Mitch. The only thing Mitch is better than Turner is really athleticism and rebounding. That's it. I just think Miles Turner, to me, will help, take the pressure off Randall, because if you have Mitch on the floor, teams will clog the paint, and Mitch cannot stretch the floor like that. If you have Turner, he's a guy that is capable of hitting a three and a mid range. That's why I think that Miles Turner can help. Or I would love to say it's a bonus, but I just don't think that's going to happen. What do you think we need, LB?
A lot of help.
What do you think we should trade for, in your opinion?
You definitely need a point guard, right? Because Derrick Rose is too hurt.
Yeah, he has an ankle
injury. Doesn't fit, and he, so you're gonna need a point guard, so a primary ball handler, somebody, and then you need, I believe, someone that can create their own shot because RJ Barrett, no.
RJ's more of a slasher. That's it. He's more of a slasher and a corner 3-point shooter. That's it.
Okay, hold on. I gotta address somebody real quick. He said, "Okay, the Nets are 10-10 against teams above 500. Why you acting like other teams just had winning records against teams above 100? Bucks and 99. What's the difference?" Okay, so obviously you weren't here when I broke this down. So if you rewind the video, I broke that down in eloquency about the teams that are contenders versus teams that are pretenders. Because the teams that have winning records at 500, above 500, like the Warriors, the Phoenix Suns, the Memphis Grizzlies, those are your contenders, right?
Right.
Teams like the Brooklyn Nets and the Milwaukee Bucks and all that, right? As of this moment right now, you got to say that they're pretenders. They can't look 500 record against good teams just doesn't. Oh man, this team's a contender. No, they're not. So anybody that's saying that the Brooklyn Nets is contender to win the NBA championship right now, you might want to reevaluate that. Now, I'm just throwing that out there. You do what you want with that information. Now, were you saying, Gideon?
Yeah, but your points what you said about New York, I just think we need a guy that can create their own shot.
Anthony Simons, $7,300. Fuck. He ain't that free square no more. Fuck. Whoa. I gotta think about that now.
I mean, why you say that though? Because are you betting on him to have a big game tonight?
Well, that's the thing. They're playing Portland tonight. So
Portland's playing Brooklyn, yeah.
I'm trying to break this down in real time here as we're getting lined up before locks. I'm trying to do the daily fantasy thing. So Brooklyn playing Portland tonight. They have no James Harden, right?
Wow.
Right. Brooklyn does not have James Harden tonight. They have Kyrie Irving.
Okay. Right.
Portland don't have Damian Lillard, no CJ McCollum in the lineup.
Okay.
The only guy they got that can bring the ball up is Anthony Simons.
Good point.
Dennis Smith Jr. is terrible. They're not going to play Dennis Smith Jr. If anything, they bring in Ben McLemore.
Good point. Yeah.
But the problem with Anthony Simons is right because he don't rebound the ball. True. He's getting assists, but his highest assist number up to this point is 7.
Yeah, he's more of a shooter. Yeah.
You said last year they beat all good teams and lost the bad teams, and they didn't win. The stuff don't mean.
He meant to say this stuff doesn't mean nothing. That's what he was trying to say.
Well, it does mean something because that gives you a good indicator who wins the NBA championship and who doesn't.
For me, I'm going to see.
Adams, you think the Brooklyn Nets win the NBA championship? Yes or no? Go ahead, Gideon. What you about to say?
For me, they just got to get. For me, you made some good points. I'm going to wait till they're healthy for me to judge. I'm going to wait till they're healthy. If it's just Harden and KD, you may have a point. If it's all three of them, they can be really tough. Because here's why I say that, right? I understand they're not great defensively, but consider the fact that I know Patty Mills is inconsistent, but he is capable of hitting the big shot. And you added a little more depth this year compared to last year. So to me, if the Nets are fully healthy, I believe they're contenders. You may disagree with that, but I'm saying that the Nets are fully healthy and the games are close. You have two closers in KD and Kyrie that can get it done, and you have a playmaker in James Harden that is capable of getting his own shot. And I think LaMarcus Aldridge, who may be old but he's still a decent player, can still help you off the bench. So to me, if the Brooklyn Nets are fully healthy and they get the chemistry together, I think the contenders to win the title. Because you can argue last year, and again, I know we cannot change the past, but I'm saying that you can argue last year that if they were healthy, they probably would have won the title. So, and don't forget the Bucks. I know Milwaukee's still a good team, but consider the fact that losing Brook Lopez is going to hurt a little bit because you need some sort of rim protection to help out Giannis. And again, I know Joe Howard is a great defender, but it's hard to stop Kyrie 4 out of 7 times. I know he's part-time right now, but who knows? He might change his mind and take the vaccine. It's not impossible. And Kevin Durant is still a great shooter and can still get to the rack. And James Harden is still a good playmaker. And Patty Mills is a former champion that can hit the big shot. So to me, if the Nets can just stay healthy and just gain chemistry, I think they're a contender to win the title.
Well, I mean, that remains to be seen.
Yeah, but they just got to get healthy. Yeah.
And this the problem I have with this, right, is okay, hold on. Look at it. Listen to what this ass clown say. Oh, Mitch ain't did nothing to y'all YouTubers. Why we look? I hate when y'all motherfuckers come in here saying this bullshit about us hating on them. Right?
I don't even hate Brooklyn.
Hold on, Gideon.
Sorry.
I hate when y'all come in here saying this bullshit about how we hating on them. How the fuck am I hating on them when they out here playing this game and all that? And I'm analyzing the game. I'm not attacking their family. I'm not attacking their friends. I'm not attacking their character. I'm talking about the game itself. And you guys come in here with this stupid ass hot take about, oh man, all y'all doing is hating. How the fuck am I hating on them when I'm giving out numbers and I'm making a projection? I'm making a prediction. How the fuck is that being a hater? Quit coming here with that stupid ass bullshit.
And you're also using context too. And you're using context in your arguments too.
I don't need you to speak for me. I can speak for myself.
Sorry.
Don't come here with that dumbass shit about people I hate hating. You beat who's in front of you. I ain't complaining about the schedule, you fucking idiot. I laid out the schedule the way the schedule is. I didn't complain about the schedule. At what point did I complain about the schedule? You dumbass motherfucker. Don't come here with that bullshit before I bat your ass out of here. Don't disrespect my fucking channel. With that dumbass bullshit. What's up, Greenleaf? Jeffrey Weaver? What's up? Salute to y'all, bro. Nah, you're not gonna come in here with that fucking bullshit. You will take that clown show somewhere else. This is the channel for intelligent black thought. You will come here with that fucking bug-eyed, bubble-up, baboon babble. Take that shit somewhere else. What did I say in the video how did I complain about the schedule, dum-dum? Early in the video, what did I say in the video that constitutes me complaining about the schedule? What did I say that was a lie? I said they beat up on bad teams and mediocre against good ones. What the fuck was that? How the fuck is that complaining? Idiot. See, it's guys like you that get feminist ammunition to come here and say dumb shit about how black men are dumb as fuck. It's guys like you that give feminist reasons and ammunition to say the shit they say. Always come here and talk about how somebody hating. Shut your dumb ass up. Always got to be some idiot that come in here that try to get things riled up. And I ain't even trying to get riled up. I'm trying to break things down by the numbers, by the personnel, by the things they are. How the fuck does that constitute being a hater? You try to tell the truth about something. Oh man, you be happy. Why you hate so much, man? You got this hate. Shut your idiot. Shut your stupid ass up. Anyway, I got 5 minutes to make a lineup for FanDuel tonight, so I'm gonna be focused on that for the next 5 minutes. You guys smash a like, hit the subscribe. Shouts out to the LDBC. If y'all think I'm some kind of path of least resistance, come and spill out your bullshit, then guess what? You got the right channel, because I will bat your ass out of here. This your boy. Scream at me. Oh!